Time Chronicles. Mission Victory. Chapter 1. Tyler gazed at the time web. In the web of bright light, a dark patch had appeared. Slowly it began to pulsate. "Virens," he murmured. He pressed the alarm to call the others. At once they ran in from all over the time vault. First to arrive was Chip, followed by Wilf. The others were not far behind. "What have we got?" called Biff, pulling her hair into a band as she came. Tyler pulled his techno chair closer to the time web and tapped the strange symbols on the keys of the matrix. "Date," urged Wilma. "Looks like 1805, muttered Tyler. He looked closely as a faint image began to form in the globe that glowed beside him. "It looks as if the Virens are interested in a ship." "Yep. I've got it. HMS Victory. Nelson's flagship," shouted Nadim. He clicked his fingers. 1805 was the Battle of Trafalgar. Wasn't that a sea battle? The Brits against the French and Spanish? The Virens couldn't do something to change the outcome of the battle, could they? "Who knows?" asked Nina. "If they could meddle with such an important event, think what it would do to unravel history." "Who's going?" asked Wilma. "It has to be boys. Didn't they have boy sailors on warships in those days?" Wilf looked at Chip. Chip nodded. "We'll go," said Wilf, "but I've got a feeling this is going to be a tough mission." They stepped into the portal together. "I hope you aren't seasick," called Biff, but Tyler had already pressed the send symbol on the matrix. Chip and Wilf had vanished. Chapter 2. The first thing that Wilf noticed was the smell. It was of tar and an unpleasant smell like the stench of rotten eggs and mud. In the dim light that seeped in down a flight of steps, Wilf could see boxes, barrels, piles of canvas, stacks of wood, coils of heavy rope and bulging sacks. A rat ran out from behind a barrel and scuttled away. Wilf was in a vast space that moved up and down. He could hear the creaking of timber and the sound of water slopping. Above he could hear shouting and the thud of heavy footsteps. Wilf felt Chip's hand on his arm. "Chip," he gasped nervously. "Thank goodness." "We must be in the hold on HMS Victory," said Chip. At that moment, feet clattered down the steps. It was the ship's carpenter. He was wearing a leather apron and had wood shavings in his hair. The boys dived behind some boxes, but it was too late. They had been spotted. "Stowaways," the man bellowed. "Stowaways on board." He grabbed the boys and dragged them up the steps. "We'll take you to the bosun," he shouted. "You'll be punished for this, I've no doubt." Chapter 3. Stowaways on board. The news spread like wildfire throughout the ship. Wilf and Chip were hauled up steep flights of steps from deck to deck. At last, they were dragged out into the sunshine of the quarterdeck. Sailors stopped work and looked to see who the stowaways were. Some soldiers in red jackets gave a ragged cheer. The bosun was a large, rough-looking man with crooked teeth. He held a stiff rope, which he smacked against his hand. "Who have we got air?" he demanded. "Some small fish, tiddlers, I'd say." He put his face close to Wilf's and yelled, "How did you get aboard, you young maggots?" On the way up to the quarterdeck, Chip had stolen a look at his link. Tyler had sent to download. Chip now stood to attention. "We are orphans, sir, but we are stout-hearted British lads. We want to serve our king and country with the bravest crew that ever sailed." At this, some of the sailors gave a cheer. "Quiet," thundered the boatswain. "We beat stowaways with a cat o' nine tails, put them in irons and feed 'em bread and water. And that's what we'll do to you." "I think not, Mr. Boatswain," a voice cut in. A man in full naval uniform had walked up quietly. He had heard what Chip said. The boatswain saluted. "Begging your pardon, Captain Hardy, sir," he barked. "I like spirit," the captain said. "These boys have it. But they are lads, not men. We don't flog children on my ship. Put them